Do you know, I hadn't realised just how the time had moved on, and I'm looking at the clock now. Oh, it's 5:30. I've been not busy today. I haven't sat down. That's what my mother used to say. I haven't had time to sit down. Well, I haven't sat down. So I have been sorting out the bedding, and look at him. He's fast asleep. He's laid on a king-size feather duvet. Yes, you could say it's a dog's life, but I would have to debate that with you. Oh, I'm going to sit down now. Solid. Oh, so I had that king-size feather duvet on my bed, and it had got to the point where I was either going to have it dry cleaned, which I don't like because there's a lot of chemicals involved there, or I was going to have to recycle it, upcycle it. So I thought, well, who's going to appreciate that feather duvet? I bought it second hand in a charity shop must have been about 20 years ago. So I've had good wear out of it. But anyway, what I've decided to do regarding feather duvets, because I'm very unhappy with the way that they're produced now, and I don't want to go into it because I find it very upsetting. But I'm not going to be buying another feather duvet unless I get a decent second-hand one. And I'm not going to have a polyester duvet on my bed either. So I'm going to have blankets. I'm going to go back to the old-fashioned layers of blankets, which I think are just far more practical. They really are. I'd love to know the impact that all these polyester duvets have had on the environment, because the polyester in them I don't think is recyclable. Not that much is recycled anyway. We all know that story. It's just offshored, you know. And I'm constantly trying to find ways to live a better life with as small a carbon footprint as is possible. Yes, I got some beautiful flowers. I got a little gift of flowers, which I'm thrilled about. So I had another feather duvet in the airing cupboard, which I've taken out. So I'm using that on the bed, and that will do for, I don't know, maybe another few years. I don't know. I'll see how it goes. But anyway, I think the ultimate goal is to go back to blankets and just to have, wool or cotton layers. Now, do you know, I keep meaning to make a cup of tea. I'm actually too tired to get up now. Now that I've sat down, okay, I think that I've become frozen onto the sofa. It's going to take a terrible effort to get back up. Right, I'm going to have a go. Oh, so what I was doing, technology is wonderful, you know. Technology is wonderful because I managed to get the Archers, which is a BBC Radio 4 afternoon show. It's all about country life, in England. I managed to get the Archers omnibus going right back to the 27th of January because, again, I haven't had the time to listen to it for ages. So I'm sort of halfway through listening to that omnibus, and I've got another, I think, 3 lined up. So, evening listening, wonderful. this is funny, you know, because normally when he hears me talking on a video, he's up and in the middle of it. But look, bless him. He's just loving that. Isn't it lovely to see animals happy and content? It makes one feel happy. It makes one feel really kind of, you know, at one with everything. So I've got some clothes now to hang out on the line, even though the evening is drawing in. I've washed sheets and pillowcases, so they're going to go out on the line shortly. And then the bucket that I had the final rinse in with a little bit of softener in it, soda crystals, I'm going to soak some clothes in that then to wash tomorrow. So, way to go, as they say. And I cleaned out the chimney this morning on the stove, cleaned all that out, cleaned out the stove, took all these tops off and got all the soot out. So I did that. I'm sort of limping along. I'll tell you why I'm limping actually. I've got quite a sore leg and quite a sore hip. Oh, he's rising. Come on then. He says, I'm very reluctant, Mum, but here I come. That was almost like, come on then. That was almost like habit, you know, that he just got up when he heard the door open. He's having second thoughts now. Tough, because I've closed the door. Yeah, what was I saying there? It's gone out of my mind. Oh God! Oh yes, that's right. I remember now. Yeah, I've got this sore hip. How could I forget? Really sore hip, and the reason why I have a sore hip and sore leg is because I got 3 big sacks of compost which were on special offer, and I heaved them into the shopping trolley with 2 bales of peat briquettes on the top, and then a load of shopping on the top of that. And the trolley was so heavy I could hardly push it around. But you know me, I've got this bullish nature. I pushed that trolley. Well, anyone who's pushed a very heavy shopping trolley, whose wheels need to be oiled, knows that you've got, you know, you kind of end up a bit lopsided with your body trying to push it. So I must have pulled a muscle or something, but anyway. Last night it was very difficult sleeping. Very difficult. But anyway, I thought I'll change the bed. I'll make a hot water bottle tonight. I'll make everything nice and cosy and comfortable. You know, try to ameliorate the worst of the symptoms and have an early night, which I will. What else have I been doing today? Well, look at this. I've put up the bird boxes. So there's one. There's one beautiful little bird box up. There we go. Home sweet home. And let's go through this little arch. Oh, Jack, we're just going to show everyone the little luxury pads here at Bealtaine Cottage. That's 2. That's 3. I've got to take that one down because that one's bit the dust. This one's okay because it's in the shelter, and this one's okay because that's in the shelter too. So they're still okay for the season. So there's one more that I put up, because I put up 4 today in total. And it's just up there. See? Now I think with this one here, what I'll do is get a little piece of wood and put it on the top of that and then paint it over, just to make it waterproof, because it looks as though it's a bit sodden, and then it'll dry out, won't it? Yeah, that's what I'll do with that. No. The ribes has really made a show of itself today. It seems to be coming out thick and fast, which I'm delighted about, because it really is now absolutely fine for the bees to start emerging from hibernation. And of course you all know they only have 40 minutes to get that shot of nectar. If they don't get their shot of nectar within 40 minutes, they die. They die, it's as simple as that. So when people talk about, oh look, there's the pheasant. When people talk about the problems with all these pesticides and everything, yes, there is that problem, but you know, we must take more responsibility. We must take responsibility. We can't keep saying, oh, it's their fault, not my fault, it's their fault. No, we've got to plant for the bees. Doesn't matter where you are, even if it's only a window box. Whatever you put in that window box might save a bee's life. We've got to plant for the bees. So that's very important, because it's not just about the bees. If we don't look after the bees, we're not looking after ourselves. There's a wood pigeon down there. It's beautiful, beautiful, pendulous flowers. Look, and look how clean my hands are from washing clothes. It's the great antidote to working in the garden. Look at my nails. So, I'm going to go up to the top of the tunnel and close the door. This is time to shut up the doors on the tunnel. All the beautiful blossom on the nectarine tree. Now look at this. I must show you this because this is so important. I have a compost toilet, okay? And what I use to cover, you know, the stuff is usually homemade chippings, you know, from the shredder. So I've been spreading this very well rotted, very safe to use now, compost around plants, and look, little mushrooms coming up in it. Isn't that fabulous? Absolutely fabulous. Talk about health for the soil. Health for the soil, so important. No, that's interesting. That little white thing looks like a feather on there. Let's have a look on the outside. So, up I go, up my little stepping stones to the doorway. So I've been up around the stone circle today as well, doing a lot of trimming, cutting back. Come on, Jack, we're going back in this way. Come on. Or maybe you want to stay out. Do you want to come in or stay out? That's it. Now, just do this one-handedly, no, two-handedly. There we go. The one thing I didn't get done today was to plant my honeysuckle. So, got to see if I can get that done tomorrow. Acrylegia is coming up lovely there, and the calendula. And since I cut back the sage and then given it a feed and watered it well, that's coming on really well. Pleased with that. This is going to be amazing when it flowers, do you know that? Because this clematis is just covered with buds. Look at this. Crazy flowers. I say goodnight to the great goddess. Yes, this is Madonna and Child, but it is another symbol for me of the great goddess, Mother Earth. Just putting her to bed now. How anyone can work on the land and not feel a spiritual connection is beyond me. Well, I suppose if you're sitting up in a big machine and for miles around you there's nothing but dusty earth or a monoculture crop, yeah, I can understand that. How could you possibly feel anything spiritual in that? I mean, you're in the pit of hell, really. Hell of your own making. But I think when you're just out with Mother Earth in this way, gardening, planting, growing, tending, nursing, caring for, it is undeniable, the spiritual connection. It cannot be denied. Spring is moving along so fast now. It's just amazing. I mean, I can come out in the morning and I see new things, and I come out then in the evening and I see even more. So I planted some more trees yesterday. I think it was 7 in total. There was 3 little bare-rooted ones that I had in a sheltered part of the garden waiting to be planted. And then there was some little trees in pots that I had. And then there were some little shrubs as well that I planted in. And then also a massive amount of cuttings. So I took blackcurrant cuttings. You know when I pruned over there near the tunnel, I took lots of blackcurrant cuttings and I kept them. You know, I had them in that big tub. So as I walked through the gardens, all the way down over the 3 acres, I was just slipping them in here and there, everywhere. And some of them, maybe even all of them, will come good. This is the forsythia. Lots of flowers on that. We'll take a little walk. Let me see, what are we at now? 19 minutes. We'll take a little dander down to the pond. Because again, even more frog spawn. And I need to walk just to loosen up these muscles that have become hurt. Now, I'll go slowly. Tell you what, I'm looking forward to getting into my bed tonight. As I'm just feeling exhausted and very sore. So I planted out this as well. This was a little pot of Leucestria formosa. You see? I had this growing in a pot for years. And I thought, well, the poor thing needs to be released now. So I literally emptied the whole pot onto here and surrounded it with compost. Jolly good feed. And there's more forsythia coming out down here. See? Amazing, it must be 6 o'clock now and the birds are still singing. This is twilight, I suppose. Dusk. Beautiful time of the day. Very beautiful. Just going this way. Now there's more frog spawn has been laid since yesterday, in fact since this morning. Just have a little peek. Can you see over there? Massive amount of it now, look. And of course the little maternity wing over there is filled. Amazing. There'll be lots more. It's interesting, there's a big clump of celandines has come up underneath those dogwoods. It just naturalised. Just hear the odd little frog. I don't know if this camera's picking them up. So, go back up to the cottage. I won't call Jack. Let's see how long he takes to realise I've gone. He's busy over there. Sound of children next door. I think one of them was having a little birthday party earlier on. A lot of hijinks, a lot of playing and joyful sounds. Ah, here he is. There were people out today with lawnmowers, and I was just thinking to myself, I have virtually no more grass left to mow. What a saving that is to the environment. And what a pleasure it is to walk on woodland paths and this beautiful soft leaf fall. Leaves and wood, and all biodegrading down to build up the soil. There's a bird box I put up years ago. There's cars leaving next door now. I suppose parents collecting their children. Hopefully they'll all be happily worn out with partying and go home and enjoy getting into bed. I'm certainly going to enjoy getting into bed this evening. Not going to leave it too late. And almost up at half an hour. I hope you've enjoyed this little evening ramble here at Bealtaine Cottage. Don't forget that there are links underneath every video, well, almost every video, links to the website and the page on the website where all the books and the map and the calendar are still there. So if you want to buy, that's fine. You're very welcome. So, blessings to you all on this beautiful, beautiful Sunday evening. It's very still, very lovely. And of course tomorrow, the beginning of the week, let's see what it brings. Blessings to you all.